Good morning, it's Brian King. If you happen to be watching me live on Facebook, please comment #live. And if you're watching the replay, please type #replay. One thing that kind of goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway to make sure we're on the same page, is that having an opinion on social media requires a thick skin, because there are a lot of people out there that will respond in a variety of ways. Some of them civilly, some of them hostilely. And if you want to be able to use social media as a tool to learn and grow, you kind of have to be ready for that. Whatever is going to be thrown at you is going to be thrown at you. And it's important to know how to respond to that. Quite recently, I challenged the notion that the goal of life is happiness. And I did a video on that. And if that's something that you would like a copy of or a link to, let me know and I'll shoot you the copy to it. But I quoted the Dalai Lama, who has repeatedly said, he's been quoted, I've seen it in videos, that he says the goal of life is happiness. And I used him as an example of someone that's perpetuating that belief. And I love the Dalai Lama, but that doesn't mean that he's flawless, that he's not imperfect, that he can't be wrong about something. He's human. Everybody can be wrong about something. Everybody is wrong about something. Not everybody has immaculate conception or perception, pardon me, Freudian slip. Not everybody has immaculate perception, meaning that they see things perfectly and spotlessly. So many people jumped on the thread and basically thought that I was attacking the Dalai Lama and his teachings. Nothing could be further from the truth. What I was questioning was the idea that the goal of life is happiness. Long story short, there were a couple people that wouldn't let go of the accusation that I was going after the Dalai Lama. And some people will do that. They will jump to a conclusion and believe that they are correct in their perception and won't let go of it. They're tenacious like a rattlesnake. Now, the lesson for those folks is you can use opportunities like this where you read something you disagree with. You can use it as an opportunity to reflect upon your own emotional response to it. If you respond with anger, with sadness because it reminds you of something, the solution there is not to go after the person that made the post and say, "How dare you?" Because in a moment like that, where you have an emotional response, the tendency is to take personally somebody else's post, when the reality is, it's not about you. It reminded you of something personal. And that shows that you have something that you can possibly work on. And that's true for all of us. It takes some self-awareness to realize that. And part of working that through doesn't mean you spend time and energy going after the person that made the post. They didn't do to you whatever it is you are now feeling. They're reminding you of it. So stay out of that conversation and do some of your emotional work. So that's one tip. If you disagree with it and you are prepared to step in and say, "Oh, perhaps a conversation about this would provide a wonderful opportunity for us to learn." Meaning, you want to learn more about the perspective that was shared in that statement, as opposed to, "I'm going to step in and prove to this person that they're wrong." If that's what you think, there's no learning that's going to happen on your end. You've already decided that you're right, and that your role now is to do some convincing. That's not a conversation, that's an argument. But if you genuinely want to jump in and explore the other side, not necessarily because you're looking to be won over yourself, but you want to be able to respect the other person's point of view and understand their position, to have some compassion, some understanding, some willingness to listen, as opposed to simply putting up a wall and believing that you're right about this 100% and you don't need anybody else's thinking on it. One of the main reasons why there's so much division in this country is because of a failure to listen. People want to lecture, monologue, argue, scream from the rooftops how right they are, but nobody wants to listen. And we have a fantastic opportunity every time we see a tweet, an article on LinkedIn, something in a thread on Facebook that challenges the way we've decided things are. It's an opportunity to step in and say, wow, maybe there's another side to this. I want to be in this discussion, not necessarily to change my mind, but to at least make sure, and please listen to this, but at least make sure that I have thought through my position so thoroughly that I can defend it with facts and not just emotion. Big, big difference. So there are a lot of beautiful opportunities if you take them. The biggest opportunity is to go into any conversation with the willingness to listen and learn, not just lecture, correct, punish, and especially not to insult. Because there's so much wisdom out there, so much for the taking, free access, and we're missing that opportunity because we're spending too much time defending our wounds, our reactions, our emotions, our baggage. Now is the best time to learn because of all the information that's out there. So I encourage you and remind myself, remain a student at all times. Because the best thing that can happen is if we keep growing, knowing more, learning more about each other, and coming together. That's my 2 cents on that. I hope it's useful to you. If so, please leave a comment. And one thing before I forget, I have a wonderful free guide that I've written. It's essentially 7 hacks, 7 mindset hacks that will allow you to take any adversity that life throws at you and turn it into adrenaline, turn it into useful fertilizer to move you forward. And if you'd like a free copy of that, just type yes in the comments and I'll make sure you get it. In the meantime, this has been Brian King. Life is good.